Welcome back to the channel, guys. And with this series finally starting in the third week of the season, actually, funny enough, we have every show of the summer 2022 season starting. And today I bring you Danmachi season 4. Now, I kind of have a history with this series, because I actually like this series quite a bit. I know a lot of people probably say, like, oh, this series is, like, the definition of mid, bro. Like, oh, this shit is ass cheeks. I don't agree. I really don't. I actually genuinely like this show, and I think it's an overall, like, pretty solid, good show. I am, yet again, a light novel reader for this series. Look how thick this fucking book is, guys. Like, good lord. But no, I think it's just a really good show overall. I think it has solid characters. I think it has a good story. And I think the world is actually pretty interesting. So today we have season 4 of this show. And that's kind of crazy to say, honestly, that the show has 4 seasons. That's kind of wild. And today I kind of wanted to do something a little different, because I don't know if I want to review this series every single week, I leave that up to you guys in the comments. So this episode, I want to talk about this episode a bit, but I just kind of want to talk about the series as a whole, honestly, right now. We'll talk a bit about this episode, obviously, but not too much happened. But you guys, seriously, you guys let me know in the comments if you want me to cover this show every week. Like I said, I really like it. I just need to know that that people actually want to see it, you know what I mean? So let me know, guys. But this series, man, what can I say about Danmachi? Like I said, I do really think it's a pretty competent series, I think the concepts in it are very cool. And I think Bell as a character is honestly, like, a really good character, honestly. Because he starts the series off as a complete little crybaby, man. Like, complete pushover, like, completely in over his head. And by this episode, it's like, yo, is this even the same person? He is vastly different. He has matured greatly. And we get to see that a little bit in the beginning of our episode today, actually, as we go through everything he's been through in the first half of our episode. As we get the little flashback as he's getting his level up. We get to see how, in the first season, he would cower at the sight of the Minotaur. And then he ends up defeating the Minotaur later on. We see that he has constantly struggled and been hurt the whole time he's been doing it. There's never been a single day this man hasn't been hurt or in anguish. But he's persevered through it. Even last season, in season 3, we got a very interesting concept where they made the monsters sentient in the show. And it really gave us a question, like, is it really okay to kill these monsters anymore? Kind of uprooting everything that the show's been about up to that point. And I just think it's very interesting. And as the series has gone on more and more, I think it's, frankly, just gotten better and better. If it kind of just stayed the same as in season 1, it would have been boring, but no. We still have our elements, obviously, but our series has constantly progressed and gotten more and more complex, actually. I think that's a testament to Fujino Amori's writing, honestly. I do. I think he is a very good writer, and he goes into a lot of detail in his series. That's one thing I want to highlight about Danmachi, is that the light novels are long, guys, and I'm only caught up to technically where season 2 ended. So I haven't read the Xeno stuff in the light novels yet. But I hear that the volume, or the section of the story we're on now in season 4, is like one of the longest by far. I think I heard like one volume is like 1,000 pages, and I'm like, holy shit. Like, he goes into excruciating detail with his series, and that is one of the complete, like, good things about this series. That's one of the best things, is that you can tell he's extremely passionate about this series, and it shows with the little detail he puts into it. So in our episode today, Belle reaches level 4. Which is kind of crazy if you think about it, guys. If you've been following the series. Because Hestia in this episode even says, like, it's only been a couple months since he's joined my familia. And it takes some people their whole lives to get to level 4. And this man's done it in a couple months. Really showcasing that he is the little rookie. Which, I find that nickname so funny. I keep always thinking to myself, like, yo, does that apply anymore? Like, can he really be considered a rookie now? Well, if he's only been doing this for a couple months, I guess so, huh? Oh, it's just, this series is quite good. And after his bout saving the Xenos last season, and the fact that the Minotaur came back, which I think is actually kind of funny, I'll be honest. When I saw that in season 3, I was like, yo, are we really doing this? He really came back. But he did, and he beat him, actually. Belle lost at the end of the season. So I think is quite a nice touch, actually, that he didn't just win again. And because of this experience, he realizes that, all right, we need to do things a bit differently now. I can't keep doing things as I've done. We need to progress further and further into the dungeon to get to the absolute bottom of it, to figure out if we can finally have coexistence between humans and monsters. Which, like I said, was a very interesting concept they introduced in Season 3, that I'm happy we're continuing in Season 4. So the whole crux of our episode today was them forming a party to go on an expedition into the dungeon, to the deepest parts that they've ever been. And that is something I love about this series. I will say that. The concept of the dungeon. How there's just this one city, Oreo, in the world that has this dungeon. To my knowledge, like I said, I'm not completely caught up, but to my knowledge, the only city in the world that has something like this, the dungeon. And it's just this giant, like, Tower of Babel, basically, in the middle of town, where you just descend farther and farther. Kind of, you're going into hell, it kind of feels like sometimes. But then it's like you have these evil, eerie places, but then you have these lush, open, like, jungles and forests and all that. And it's such a cool concept, actually. The idea of the dungeon. Like I said, this giant Tower of Babel, just in the middle of this city where adventurers go in and just can explore to their heart's content. Who knows how many levels there are in this? It's such a really cool concept, actually, to base your story around. And like I said, our group of the Hestia Familia, I guess you could say, is planning their expedition to go down there. So they actually go through and recruit a bunch of people. A bunch of people we've seen throughout the series, actually, to come join their expedition. We see Aisha, actually, come and coach Haruhime with a grimoire. We see them going to Takamikazuchi's familia and recruiting... What is their name? I wrote their names down. Oka and Shigusa from his familia to come be in the expedition. We even see Daphne and Cassandra, which I completely forgot that they joined Mitch's familia. I completely forgot they did that, so that was kind of fun. They even joined them. Or have them join too. And it's just kind of cool to see all the characters that have been touched by Belle over the course of the series coming together and helping out Hestia Familia to go deeper into the dungeon. Like I said, I do like this series, guys. I think it has its charms and its good points about it. You know, you see so much negativity online nowadays, but I like to come on here and just talk about good things about series. Every series has good things. And I think this series actually has a lot of good things that I want people to try to understand. You know? You don't have to love everything. But you gotta try to see the good things in things and not just all the negative shit, you know? So I just kind of wanted to highlight that today with Danmachi. And like I said, our whole episode today was them just forming an expedition to go into the dungeon. And that's how our episode ends, with them starting that. With them finally descending down with all their new equipment, with Belle becoming a level 4, the whole party descending down into the dungeon. And it's going to be cool. You know, I heard that this season was actually going to be 2 cores, which is a first for the show, actually. Like I said, I'm pretty sure that the volume that this is adapting is like 1,000 pages, I heard. So it's going to be crazy. Things are going to go wrong, and things are going to be wild. And I'm looking forward to it. And hopefully after watching this video, you guys are too. I hope I didn't ramble a bit too much, but I just wanted to kind of talk about this series a bit, you know? And if you guys want me to review this every week, please let me know in the comments. Like, I'd love to hear your opinions about Danmachi, because it's a series I do actually very much like. Before I let you go, I'll tell you a quick little story with this series that kind of stuck with me for some reason. I remember when this show came out in 2015. Yeah, 2015. Let that sink in. That was 7 years ago when season 1 came out. I remember sitting at my dining room table with a bowl of cereal for some reason, you know, and I just had it up on my phone and I was watching it as I was eating breakfast, thinking to myself, like, this is kind of a cool concept. You know, the idea of the dungeon, the idea of the statuses on their backs and all that, how they constantly power up, how the gods and goddesses kind of descended from heaven and they run these familias in the town and they recruit these people and give them abilities through their statuses on the back. I kept thinking to myself, like, this is a really cool concept, honestly. And because of that, I've come to very much enjoy this series. And I hope you guys have as well. But that'll be it for today's episode, guys. You know, a little bit of a different one. Like I said, I could have sat here and went through every painstaking detail in this episode, but I didn't. There really wasn't that much. Let's be real, guys. I didn't want to stress that out, so I just wanted to talk about the show with you guys. So you guys let me know what you think down below. And that'll be it for today, guys, you know? So I hope you guys have a great day, week, month, and year. And seriously, let me know in the comments, like, you guys might not think so, but I read every single comment I get and all that, and I love all of y'all for doing that. I really do. It really means a lot to me to see you guys engaging in the comments. It really does. So please, let me know what you think. But until next time, guys, have a great day, week, month, and year. And until then, deuces, and have a blessed day.